Chapter 13 in the book of John recounts the story of something Jesus did at the Last Supper that was very unusual. So they were all around the table, they were just chilling, talking to each other, and then all of a sudden, without saying a word, Jesus stands up, grabs a towel, and wraps it around his waist. They were probably all wondering, what is he doing? What is he about to do? Judas was probably sitting there like, what's up? What's up? What's up? Oh, you just want to wash your feet? That's it. Oh, I got you. All right, my bad. I really hope he does not know. Being that these were his final moments of rest with his disciples, he could have shared the most mentally and spiritually challenging parable that they ever heard. He could have taken the disciples on an out-of-body experience to see what heaven looks like. He could have done a miracle that far surpassed the wonders of all the others. But instead, he did something that anyone with a humble heart is totally capable of. He literally brought himself low and washed their feet. Now let me paint this picture for you real quick. We get grossed out when one of our family members gets out of the shower and decides to clip their toenails, because everybody knows that wet toenails are the softest and therefore the easiest to clip. But let's say that this particular family member leaves the toenail clippings on the bathroom floor without cleaning them up. So later, you unknowingly trespass into the scene of this crime and accidentally step on one. By this time, it's dry, so it has hardened like a stale Cheerio crumb and digs into your foot a little bit. At first, you don't know what your soul has just made contact with, but you definitely just felt something prick you, so you bend your leg and grab your ankle to discover that a foreign object, a toenail shard from the body of another human being, has just barely burrowed below the surface of the dead skin on the bottom of your heel, and it is sticking to it. So now you think that you might become infected with foot cooties. That is the kind of stuff that we get grossed out by. On the day of the Last Supper, Wednesday, April 1st, in the year 33, which is almost exactly 1,985 years ago, they did not have bathrooms with showers or toilets with sewage pipes. They just had outside. And the disciples would walk around a lot, sometimes barefoot, outside. And these bare feet made contact with the many creatures and substances that were on the ground outside. And Jesus, knowing all of this, still removed his outer garment, got down on his knees, and washed the dirt, feces, and insect remains off of the disciples' dry, cracked, ashy, long toenailed, blistering, stinking, repulsive, hideous feet, including the feet of Judas, whom Jesus knew would betray him only moments later. So often, we get caught up in what people can do for us. We want to meet certain people so that we can gain wisdom, connections, influence, or status from them, which are all good things. But how often do we humbly extend our hands and ask those same people what we can do for them without expecting anything in return? How often do we bring ourselves low to help people who can't even do anything for us? Jesus didn't need the disciples or Mary or Martha or Lazarus. They couldn't do anything for him. He still was and is and always will be God, the infinitely self-sufficient and omniscient creator of all things. But yet and still, in selfless servitude, he washed their feet. If you say that you are a Christian, meaning that you follow Christ, but are not allowing him to transform your life by seeking him through prayer, worship, and reading his word, then how can you possibly expect to love and serve others as he commanded us to? If you're not doing that, then you're really just serving yourself, which is something that Jesus did not even do. We have to continuously check our desires, humble ourselves, and ask the Holy Spirit to lead us and guide us and transform our hearts so that we may truly walk in humility and servitude, modeling the example that Christ set for us, so that when people see us, they are really seeing the work that Christ has done in us and are moved to desire Him the same. My name is Chaz Smith, and that's the word.